My friends, what a crazy day, huh? Man, let's take a step back and kind of assess maybe what's going on because this was one of those days that I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This was one of those frustrating days. It's just like when Powell started talking, and it was just like, bro, you have one job. And he basically was like, yeah, we don't really know what we're going to do, and may not do anything until March. And so, anyway, let's talk about today. So, first thing in the morning, tweeted out, and I said, today is all about 1 o'clock. And once again, Central Time for me. So, uh, it's pretty much what happened. We had a nice rally. What I was anticipating is if he gave us news of what we expected, that we would see, some first interest rate hikes in March. If basically if he came out and was as hawkish as we expected, or even turned into dovish, then I really thought we might see a good solid, like somewhere around a 4 to 5 week solid rally, a bunch of money coming back into the market before they actually hike the interest rates, and we see some big drops in March. So based off the way the futures were rolling and based off the way the day was going, pretty much looked like that's exactly what was going to happen. And so then I kind of tweeted out how I'm looking at the falling wedges. Got a nice little Tesla scalp. And then let's look over here at the chart. We actually jumped in and got our 1750 gap fill. So let's go on the 15 minute and see it better. So I tweeted out last night about gaps that are on AMC towards the upside. One of them being, kind of right here. And once again, I gave, broad ranges of the numbers. Obviously it was, 1763. So just said 1750. Once again, everything's about ranges, guys, not to the penny numbers. And so we got that fill. We were looking good. This big push up right here had some nice volume attached to it. And I think it was literally right about here, like right towards the top, right around this, 17 to 18 range. And I was messaging Dave, and I was like, what are you thinking of this push right here? The volume looked good on the push. And then it was like, right as I was saying that, is like all of a sudden the volume just kind of went to Ghost Town Central. And then I was like, dude, this volume has just completely dropped off. And, this was kind of right around when the meeting was supposed to start and then Powell was supposed to speak. And that is what I tweeted out. Volume is dropping, expecting a retrace or holding while Powell speaks. And so what I was really hoping for would happen was as the meeting started, and then as Powell spoke, everybody kind of was going to be hanging out, anticipating, and then he would kind of be like, yeah, basically we're going to stick to our plan, no new interest rate hikes, we're going to stick with the three that we talked about, and then we might see a real solid push to the upside, back even up to maybe the $20 range. And instead we got what we got, and it just freaking dumped on us, man. I mean, we had at one point, let me go to the daily candle here. I mean, we had, I think it was like a 15% move overall today. Yeah, almost 16% move. And like I had tweeted out, this first big range of downtrend is what we were looking to break out, right here in this $18 range. And it was like, as soon as we got there, man, we got smacked all the way back down. Now, overall, we closed inside of the wedge, which is a good thing. And I think I saw after hours it ticked up just a little bit. But overall, as I sit here right now, guys, futures are just getting annihilated. It is, minus 500 on the Dow, minus 73 on the S&P, minus 285 on the NASDAQ. So that means, I think at this point, unless something crazy happens or maybe some news comes out, we are going to open and we're going to get smacked. Honestly, I fully expect a retest at least. Let me go back in here to the. We'll just go 15 minutes. I expect at least, coming down here into this kind of 1550 range, 1560 range. You can see this kind of liquidity zone right here is kind of providing some nice support for us, which is obviously kind of close to the bottom of the wedge as well. So that would definitely be nice if it holds up, but I mean these futures are bad. I'm not gonna try to paint a picture that's not here. So, like I said, when I tweeted out, get ready to buckle up. I think there's going to be some real volatility coming into the market. Once again, buckle up is both ways. I see a lot of people that are always like, oh, well, if the market crashes, AMC is going to explode and go up because margin calls might happen. And that definitely can happen, but not before AMC gets absolutely annihilated, in my opinion, which, I mean, I would expect, I would expect bad before anything like that happened. Like coming down here, at least to the $12 range, and then even down here to the $8 to $10 range. Now, once again, I always try to say what I like to deal in with my TA and analysis is what do I think is the most likely scenario. So every single day, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of possibilities. So, like I said in a previous video, if you just want to be right, say it'll be somewhere between, $0 and $1 million today, and you can just be right. What I like to do is factor in what do I think is the most likely scenario. So, what I think is the most likely scenario is we open up to getting absolutely dumped on. I think, even a test of coming down here, and coming back and retesting, 1450, pretty much the bottom. Sorry guys, I'm going to be all over the place tonight. I'm super tired. It was a long day at work, and so I apologize. I'll try to be as clear as I can, but frustrating day at work, frustrating day at in the market, and I didn't sleep very well last night. So, like I said, I apologize. But anyway, I tweeted out earlier. This is just kind of a trend line that I've been looking at. As you can see, it respects where the bottom of the buy button was taken out. It's right where we hit really hard at that 1450, had a real nice reaction, had like a 20% moving day. So I mean, once again, overall, volatility is coming back, volume is coming back. I think we were like at 80 million today, or pretty close to it. We were at 76 million today. So I mean, this is what you asked for. Be careful what you wish for. All volatility and volume, my friend. You got it. So once again, at the end of the day, my AMC shares, I'm in it to win it. It's I'm either going to lose a lot of money or I'm going to make a lot of money either way. But this overall market is just taking a beating right now. So this trend right here, from the buy button collapse, up to where we had a nice little solid reversal. It's valid as of right now, but we'll want to see how it holds up over time. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. With the way the day was going and cooking, I fully expected to get to the point where I could say like, hey man, I really think we're gonna start reversing out of this. At least, especially, I thought over the next month we could see a real nice run back up to the $30 range, and then man, Powell just came out and, as far as I'm concerned, dropped the ball. I thought it was. I mean, just come out and say hey, it's gonna be worse than what we thought, and not just, like I said, a bunch of I don't knows. Anyway, overall, We respected the wedge. I was really hoping we were going to close, up above like maybe 1750 or so. Another thing that is just flat out not looking that great anymore. Oops, that's the RSI. For a long time, guys, the OBV, the on balance volume, was looking really solid. Okay, we were having a solid uptrend. It was looking like this right here. And when it was looking like this right here, myself included, everybody was pretty happy because we were like, dude, price is doing nothing but, dropping, but the OBV is doing nothing but climbing. And that is not the case anymore. I mean, you can see it is starting. There are more people selling than there are buying right now. And that is just a fact. Okay? You can get mad at me if you want to or anything along those lines, but we are having more sells come through than we are buys. Okay? It doesn't mean it can't turn around or anything like that, but for a long time we were getting a real solid bullish divergence here, and it's looking worse and worse every single day right now. Now, one way you can look at it, it's a little bit more positive, is maybe we're just going to do something like this. And we're going to have a real nice solid double bottom bounce, on that OBV. And then that could kickstart the reversal. So that means we would need to come down here, maybe get another double bottom touch of around that 1450 area. And then that is what's going to start kicking off the reversal. So that 100% could happen, but we're not going to sit here, at least not on my channel. I'm not going to sit here and, paint a picture of sunshine and rainbows because it's just not right now. So the OBV is looking worse and not better. And once again, that just kind of adds into a little bit of the frustration today. If you go and look at the chart on, we'll just go to the 5-minute time frame. I mean, if you go look at this bad boy right here, this is very Wyckoff distribution looking right here. Okay, so I think tumble to here and that 1450 to me, once again, with the way futures are looking, if futures were rebounding and looking real green, and once again, to an extent, futures are kind of like after hours. To an extent, sometimes you have to take them with a grain of salt, especially when they look pretty neutral. But right now, my friends, these futures are not neutral. These futures are red. These futures are the stock market is getting knifed and going to take a beating tomorrow. Love to be wrong, but once again, that is reality. So I am fully expecting and preparing to see 1450 again, definitely a push down in the morning. And then who knows, once again, we might see a recovery during the day. Right now, today looks like it was kind of a massive bull trap. But the sell-off end of the day might turn into a massive bear trap. I mean, I always promised you guys at the end of the day, if I ever thought I felt like I just didn't know, I would say I don't know. So let me be the first to say, I don't know tomorrow. I think it's more likely that we see a lot of downside and we see just a nasty day in the markets. But, we could see a turnaround. Well, we've had days like, what was this? The 24th, where it's just massive sell-off in the morning and then massive recovery in the afternoon. Today we had, big green day and then massive sell-off towards the end of the day. So, it's crazy and it's volatile. And when you signed up for the AMC play, if you signed up for the AMC squeeze or anything along those lines, this is what you signed up for. You signed up for, volatility and halts and craziness. And so you just have to be mentally prepared for it. Today, like I said, was super frustrating for me because I thought today was going to be like, when I was like looking at, some of these candles and stuff, I was like, all right, let's go. pretty much, midday, like right around noon, and then it just rug pull, and like I said, that's what I tweeted out. Like I said, volume retracing. I said, you better put your seatbelt on. And then I put, there's the rug pull. And like I said, the Fed's just acting like they don't know. So tomorrow is going to be interesting. I think we're in for an interesting, next few months. But like I said, if you're like, let's just let the market crash and AMC's gonna moon, that's fine if that's what you want. But you just got to know and understand your precious AMC is gonna get hammered before negative beta kicks in or anything along those lines. So that's really all I have today, guys. AMC is still ready to run. Like I said, all the indicators are ready to run. It's just I truly believe if the overall market wasn't so awful and selling off or anything along those lines, I already believe she would be running. I mean, today shows, in my opinion, how bad she wants to run. I mean, if we go look at the RSI, remember, guys, the RSI basically is letting you know whether or not your stock is overbought, oversold, when it's getting too hot. You can see right here, these June runs, it got all the way up to 95, and then obviously it comes crashing down. So, like I said before, we have got, let's check. In AMC's existence, I mean, it is as oversold right now as AMC has ever been, other than 2 other times. And both those times it was just wicked price action going down. So I do believe we're close to the end of the downside. I mean, historically, you just look at historically at AMC since 2017, we are historically towards the end of the downside. Now, does that mean it can't go lower? No, that's not what it means. We can make a new all-time, low as far as the RSI goes. But we are, we're due for a turnaround. Let's see here. Let's look at the EMAs. So obviously every single day that goes by, that 20-day EMA, is getting lower and lower and lower to us. So for instance, like on Tuesday, it was at 21.62, and whoops, my bad. Yeah, 21.62. And then today it was 21.08. So each passing day, as all those EMAs keep curling down to us, we're going to have a day where we get the volume and we get a solid candle that starts recovering it. And once we start recovering those EMAs, that's what's going to propel us into our runs. Let me look at it on a 4-hour basis. So we were actually getting kind of close to it today on the 4-hour, and then just got smacked down off of it. Uh-oh. I hadn't looked at this. Okay, so I mean, it's not quite, but I mean, it's pretty close to a bearish engulfing candle on that 4-hour candle for AMC. Look at the 1 hour. Okay, yep. So we got rejected. We pretty much got rejected off the 50-day EMA, and which is fine. That would have been okay with that if we would have found support on the 20-day, but we didn't. We got hammered right back below it. So, like I said, I think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see downside tomorrow. I hate to say it because I really thought today was looking like, we could really say that, hey, I think we're seeing a solid reversal here forming. But just can't say that. Not yet. So I think we're going to see downside. That first step, like we already talked about, is going to be in that kind of 1550 range, 1550, 1575. And then after that, it's pretty much going to be, we need to be looking and hoping that we get that, that double bottom around the 14, pretty much just 1450 range. And remember, the reason that level is so important is that was going to be kind of our big time resistance. So 2 times before, let me get rid of these EMAs, 2 times before the big June run, that was our big resistance before the June run. And so big resistance needs to turn into big support. If we break, that $14 range, we are definitely going to be coming down here into this, $12 range. So we want, that 14.50 to hold. We want it to be supported, by solid bullish volume. More volume the better, bouncing off of that. We want to see that it's defended. Let me go. I hadn't looked at this once we got there. So, yeah, guys, I'm not going to lie. Last time we got down there, I would have really liked to have seen this rejection off this 14 area. I would have liked to have seen that been stronger, which I definitely tweeted that out. So I would have been way happier, if this was right here, this candle, or even this one on the rejection, if it had a big old long wick and was just a big old massive volume candle, kind of like this one back here that we saw on December 14th and then we saw on December 17th. That was why I was pretty confident that we were going to see a reversal start. And if I'm being as honest as I can, I do believe this was the reversal. I really do. And then the market started selling off. The Fed inflation fears started, and we just started dumping. Right here, in fact, let's go check it. So like right around December. So not quite. About a week later, after our big AMC rebound, so December 28th, that's really when we started, dumping on the SPY. So okay, yeah, that would have been here. So right after our big rebound, and then we came back down here. We had a decent looking candle right here, kind of a bullish hammer, even closer to a doji. And we saw a nice little push up, and then after that. So, AMC is following the market, whether you or me or anybody else likes it or not. AMC is following the overall market and the SPY. And so if the overall market is going to take a big old whack, our beloved AMC is going to take a big old whack with it before, anybody can be hoping that margin calls show up or anything along those lines. So I wanted to be very bullish going into the rest of this week and pretty much the next about 4 weeks. But the way the last hour of trading went, it was just a big old punch right in the get. Not fun. So I think we need to anticipate downside. Now, once again, I'm hoping that 1450 is going to be a nice double bottom. I would definitely buy some more there. I will buy some more there. But if 1450 doesn't hold, guys, that's not going to be fun. Once again, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Not going to tell you or me something that maybe want to hear. I definitely think we'll be getting here into this $10 range. Also, I think as somebody pointed out today, there's another gap. Let's see here. I think right here, kind of around this, $10 range right here. So that might be a gap fill that we have to go retrace. And then it looks like there might be another one here at like 831. So, there are other gaps. So, at the end of the day, I think we're coming to a point where we are going to be, you believe in this play or you don't. Now, once again, I still think both of these are not most likely. And once again, that's what I deal in. And you can go, well, wow, we filled this gap right here. Why we fill that gap right there? And I'm not saying we won't. I'm just saying, a big reason is because we're running into some very heavily traded ranges. Okay. So this area, and you can see the reason we saw such a hard bounce right here is because anything below this has all been heavily traded already. think of this right here, guys. So once we actually broke, this kind of 30, that 28 range, we hit that air pocket, that we talked about a lot once we were there. And so just imagine, like, think of it as before, it was kind of like, so these bars right here were very untraded. That's not the way I want to say it. That sounds stupid. But I mean, they weren't explored. I'll put it that way. They weren't explored areas. Up here in this 30 and 40 was very explored. So think of it as like we were playing, basketball on the second floor of a building. Once we broke through that floor, ain't nothing catching us until the first floor, okay? And so I look at all of this as kind of the big first AMC run, is this is kind of the first floor, if you will. So, right here, this, whole range has all been heavily traded before. So that's why we're seeing such big bounces and big reactions right here, because there's really no reason for the composite man to go, digging around in there, unless he really wants to test all these diamond-handed apes in here in this, $8 to $12 range, and that's possible. But the idea of the composite man is going and checking out for different liquidity zones and everything like that. So the next, smallest ranges is, back up here in these 20s. We'd want to get, this all traded back up. So once again, I still think it's way more likely. Once again, if you take the broad market completely out of the equation, which obviously you can't. If you were just looking at AMC, the most likely thing is for us to move back up and start getting in here and trading in this $20 range. And then, because once we get back to these $30 ranges that have been traded heavily, I believe we'll move through those relatively quickly. And then you've got these up here, up in the 60s, that's, barely been traded at all. And so if you think of these as kind of like air pockets that like the stock wants to get, think of them as kind of like magnets that the stock gets drawn to, then it's way more likely that we go up then we go down and check all those other pockets. So once again, to me, the wild card in this whole situation is the overall broader market. And if it sees, massive sell-off, crashes, however you want to look at it, it is going to take AMC down with it. Okay? Now, does that mean down with it and stay there? No, because, as liquidity gets pulled from all these people that would be shorting AMCs, eventually you get to the point where it doesn't make sense. Also, if they pull us down really hard, it might make sense till they get to the point where they go, okay, let's freaking cover this thing at this level and get these stupid, apes out of my life. Because they can pull it down to a point where, they're still going to lose a ton of money, but, they can actually survive and, so on and so forth. So, like I said, for me, it's just been a frustrating day because, things look good after the SEC voted for, helping us start to get some more transparency in the market, because I do believe that they know and understand that retail will leave the market if they just flat out can't trust it and if there's no progress to be gaining our trust. So, that looked good. The market was recovering. And then freaking Powell, man. And the Fed. Just what? What are we doing? So anyway, my friends, I think it's buckle up time. I think it's buckle up to the downside time. But, we'll see. The market has done nothing but, trying to fake everybody out. Massive sell-offs in the morning, massive recoveries in the day, towards the end of trading day. And then today was the exact opposite. Really nice runs all throughout the day, and then just a complete rug pull at the end of the day. So I'm trying to give you as many different possible scenarios as I can, because the reality is I don't know, you don't know, nobody knows, right? Except for Nancy Pelosi. She always knows. We should get her on the chats, figure out what's going on. So be cool as a cucumber, know your position, trade your position. If you need to put your phone away, put it away, and trade your plan. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and just scream at you to just buy and hold. AMC's for sure gonna turn into a rocket ship. Now that's what I believe. I'm going to hold it to the end, but you need to do what is best for you. So, sorry guys, like I said, I know this video was super rambly. I don't even know how long it is. But I mean, just look at it. I mean, we need to start moving back up here, and checking out these ranges more than we need to check out these ranges. So this was always why I said I think the reversal was going to be in right here. Doesn't mean we can't come down and retest. But if we break, like I said, if we break, the top of this trading range right here, let me just throw it up. If we break into here, call it that, 1445 range, and especially if we start staying there, and especially if we see huge red volume taking this there, if we see the OBV crashing, and we see huge red selling pressure and selling volume, if we see it take us into those ranges, we're gonna be there, for a little bit. But the good news is once again, if I throw a basketball off a 2-story building, I want to get a certain bounce out of that. If I throw that same basketball off a 10-story building, I'm going to get a much bigger bounce. So when the bounce and the recovery does happen, I think it's going to be huge. We just got to get there. Like I said, I'll be on the roller coaster the entire way. Just no emotion. Once again, it's okay to get frustrated. Don't let your emotions control big decisions or anything along those lines. I tell my kiddos all the time, think in decades. Think about the person you want to be, 10 years from now. Regardless of what happens, whether you make a ton of money or whether you lose a ton of money, 10 years from now, you're going to look back and be like, dang, I should have gone down with my ship. Or if you do sell and it rocket ships, you'll hate yourself forever. Once again, you do you. None of this is financial advice. But I know myself well enough to know that I will go down with the ship. I'm going to go big or go home. I will go down with the ship. Or I'll get on the rocket ship. One way or the other, but trade your plan. Don't have yourself over leveraged. For me, I know and I believe I can always make more money. I'll make anything and more, back than I could ever lose in AMC. But I'm a big believer in my gut, and I believe in not just AMC. I believe in the whole idea that this market is incredibly corrupt, and there's certain meme stocks, if you will, that are going to rocket ship. I believe in GameStop. I believe in AMC. I believe in all of them. And it's getting to the point where I'm going to start, buying some GameStop too and everything along those lines. But like I said, we are just at the mercy of, the market makers and the overall markets and interest rate and the Fed and everything along those lines and institutions. But bottom line, there's lots of institutions in these plays that aren't about losing money or anything along those lines. So be a long-term thinker. Don't be a short-term thinker, and think in decades. Where do I want to be 10 years from now? 10 years from now, am I going to have rather gone down with the ship, or do I want to see how this thing plays out? And I know for me, I want to see how this thing plays out. And when I say I want to see how this thing plays out, it means I'm going to be in it. All right. So that's pretty much all I have today. Once again, guys, I'm sorry. Brain's fried. Emotions are fried. Somebody said the other day, I was like, AMC has killed any and all emotions I could ever have in this play. And I'm like, that's fair. So, like I said, as we sit here, like I said, guys, we really want this 1450 range to hold. If not, the next level of support is going to be in that, $12 range. If not, after that, it's going to be in, these bottoms right here, which is going to be in the $9 to $10 range. Once again, I don't think that's the most likely thing, but with the way this overall market is going right now, man, at this point, nothing will surprise me. I think the most likely thing, though, is, we get a double bottom bounce, start moving back up. We need some relief in And not just AMC. There's a lot of stocks out there that need some serious relief and are super oversold. There's a lot of deals out there, and money's going to come in and buy those deals. So God bless you guys. Stay strong. Once again, I'm not leaving. It's either down with the ship or rocket ship, and there's no in between for me. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Futures look bad, but hopefully it's just a big old fat bear trap. Either way, let's go. Have a good one.